morning, Sarasota! Please rise and by the Andor Spirit for our opening hymn, I know this rose will open, we will be doing around. We will sing it through once. And then, okay, two groups? Okay, so group number one will be from here on. Group number two will be from here on. We will sing it through once, then group one starts, and then Paul will give you the cue on when to start group two.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist of Sarasota. My name is John Yoder. I'm a member of our congregation's Board of Trustees. This morning, we want to extend a special welcome to all of our visitors that are here with us today, as well as those that are with us on live stream. You can find out more about us and Unitarian Universalism by registering on our virtual guest book, which you will find via a link on the homepage of our website at uusrq.org. If you're visiting in person, please take the time to sign in at the welcome table if you haven't done that already. If you do, we'll send you our weekly newsletter and Zoom links to our virtual events. We invite you to attend any and all of our events, and especially today, this is Second Sunday Potluck, so please join us, get to know us better. We want to get to know you better as well. If you didn't bring anything, it's okay. We have more than enough to share. One big announcement. Next Sunday, we're going to 2 services, and we expect this crowd is evident of the fact that we're reaching capacity. So the forum and the first service will begin at 10 o'clock. Coffee and conversation begins at 11. The second service will start at 11:30. Children's programs will be provided for both services. So hope to see you there, and welcome again.
brother see it, and your sister too. Each of us will be given a light that love can shine right through. Shine your light, shine your light. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. Shine your light, shine your light, shine your light. Everybody make it big and bright. Shine your light. Take it to the neighbor, help in any way. Take it to a stranger, love with all you do and say. Be a light to follow, be a light that leads. Show your friends and family, lift it higher, shine unseen. Shine your light, shine your light. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. Shine your light, shine your light, shine your light. Everybody make it big and bright. Shine your light. We can shine together. We can shine alone. Shine alone. Everybody, make your light known. We can shine together. Shine together. Shine alone. Make your light known. Shine your light, shine your light. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. Shine your light, shine your light, shine your light. Everybody make it big and bright. Shine your light. Everybody make it big and bright. Shine your light. Everybody make it big and bright. Shine your light. Shine your light.
Thank you, choir. That was gorgeous. Our reading this morning is attributed to Ernest Holmes, and it speaks directly to the importance and value of giving. As many of you know, Ernest Holmes was a founder and leader in the New Thought movement, which took place in this country in the early 20th century. In this quote, Holmes seems to be saying that giving and receiving are two aspects of the same flow. Life is not something we get, it is something we participate in. There is one movement of giving and receiving, one eternal circulation of good. What we give does not leave us, it moves through us. When we withhold in fear, we interrupt the flow of life itself. But when we give with understanding, we align ourselves with the abundance that is already present. We do not give to get. We give because giving is the nature of life, and we are expressions of that life. As we trust the flow supports us.
As we light our chalice today, let us say the words together that hopefully will be on the screen behind us. We cultivate a spirit of
gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality.
Thank you, Titan, for lighting the chalice for us. So, today's story is The More You Give by Marcy Campbell, illustrated by Francesca Sana. Once there was a wide open field and a boy who loved his grandmother, who loved him back, and they were happy. The grandmother gave the boy many gifts, like big hugs, and bigger laughter, and very biggest Sunday morning pancakes. But she had more to give. Small gifts like acorns, tiny and shiny with wild and woolly caps. Most of the gifts she gave to the boy weren't ones that he could hold in his hands, like all of her wisdom about how things grow. The boy watched and wondered one day, "Oh, when will it be bigger than me?" he asked. As he dreamed of swings and secret places, in reply, his grandmother gave him another gift, patience. The boy had a birthday, and the tree reached his knees. The boy had a birthday, and the tree reached his shoulders. The boy's grandmother had a birthday, and he gave her many gifts, like a poem, a picture, a crown, and most of all, his love. And she loved him back, and they were happy. Until one day, slowly, slowly, happiness spreads its roots again. The boy's grandmother had taught him to ask for help when he needed it. And so, remembering, he did. And he watered, and he weeded, and he watched, and he wondered. He grew tall with wondering, still dreaming of swings and secret spaces, but not for himself. Once there was a not so wide open field and a girl who loved her father, who loved her back, and they were happy. The father gave the girl many gifts, like piggyback rides and plump strawberries and bedtime stories about his grandmother. He also gave the girl acorns, tiny, shiny things with wild and woolly caps. But he had more to give, like all the wisdom about how things grow. "When will it be bigger than me?" the girl asked, and he explained how love, even when given to the smallest things, can spread up and out and grow bigger than she could ever imagine. Together they watered and weeded, and in time they found shade, a home, a strong, thick branch that was perfect for, a great swing and a birdhouse. They watched and waited and wondered. The girl grew and the trees grew and their love grew and spread up and out. And while the girl dreamed of secret spaces, but not for herself. Once there was a field dotted with trees and a boy who loved his mother who loved him back, and they were happy. The boy's mother gave him pancakes made from her great-grandmother's recipe, topped with strawberries from her father's patch, and hugs and laughter, and piggyback rides, and bedtime stories about their family and its love of green growing things. The boy's mother gave him acorns, and together they planted and watered and weeded and watched and wondered. And from their secret space, which wasn't very secret, the boy and his mother shared their wisdom with anyone and everyone about how things grow, like trees and people and kindness. The boy always had more love to give, and he got love in return. Was it bigger than him? It was. It was much bigger than he had ever imagined, and that is why he was happy. Once upon a time, there was a forest. As our congregation approaches its 75th anniversary, I could not help but think that it, like the home and the forest in this story, has been loved and nurtured and has grown over the generations. But for it to continue to be there for all of us, each of us too must take on the role of planting seeds, watering and weeding when necessary, and showering it with our presence, with our talents, with our leadership, and with our financial support. Only then will our community be here for all to thrive and be ready to meet the moment. I now invite the children and youth to join the teachers in the West Wing to understand the importance of putting down their mini screens and building community together. And if you're new here, it's okay, just follow me. Thank you.
By the way, good morning. I am Reverend J. Wolin, the settled minister here at the Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota. Our centering in words today are from the Buddhist teacher Jack Kornfield. We all have, without exception, a very deep longing to give to the earth, to give to others, to give to society, to work, to love, to care. That's true of every human being. And even the ones who don't find it, it's because it has been squashed or somehow suppressed in some brutal way in their life. But it is there to be discovered. We all long for that. And there's tremendous sorrow for a human being who doesn't find a way to give. One of the worst human sufferings is not to find a way to love or a place to work and to give of your heart and of your very being. So now as we go into a time of silence, I invite you to contemplate all the different ways that you have given in your life or could give in your life.
Again. This year I have the privilege of being the chair of the stewardship campaign. Our motto for this year's campaign is Meet the Moment, Fund Our Future. That phrase sums up our belief that in this moment we have the opportunity to support our congregation in its service to us as members and to the world we live in. This year, our committee worked long and hard thinking about how to bring the campaign to life for you. Instead of giving you all the good reasons you should pledge, we spent a lot of time thinking and talking about what you as members would like to know about the campaign. Here are the 4 questions we think you'd like to know the answers to as you decide on your pledge. First, what is our annual budget and what does it include? In your bulletin today is a nice little chart which describes our budget in terms of our mission and how it's focused. I know as good Unitarians, you want to recycle this immediately after the service. Don't. Take it home with you. Look at it. It's a document that I think will be enlightening for you. First question, what is our annual budget? Next year, our annual budget is $648,000. Salaries and benefits make up around 80% of the total, which is pretty close to average for a small not-for-profit organization like ours. It also includes a new position of assistant minister to begin in August. Again, in your bulletin, you'll see a very thoughtful description of the new minister's role and how it could be beneficial to our congregation, and I invite you to take that home as well. The assistant minister will help in providing increased pastoral care, new program development, along with increased member and visitor engagement. Our budget also supports our many programs and services, our grounds and buildings, and all our indirect costs like utilities and insurance. In addition to our assistant minister, what exactly do our pledge gifts go to support? We've actually been doing a little bit of a stealth campaign over the last couple of months. We've been putting on our website and on our weekly newsletter highlighting the work of the committees and many of the small groups. You're part of those committees and small groups, but we wanted the larger congregation to see just how active we are as an organization. In addition to our world-famous forum, Religious Ed for Kids, and our excellent Sunday services, we have over 50 small groups, committees, and special interests that range from Chalice groups, social justice, diversity, pastoral care, bike riders, men's groups, and many more. But more than attending to our own needs, we also serve the wider Sarasota community in our efforts to promote democracy and ensure a healthy environment. We advocate for and serve immigrants, our schools, and get out the vote efforts. You, as members, make up the united community of UUSRQ and enrich our lives. We need and benefit from what our congregation offers us. Now more than ever, so does the world we live in. We thought you'd like to know what is a reasonable pledge. We haven't always talked about this, but we think it's something you should be aware of. The average yearly gift in our congregation is $1,250 for individual givers. Nationwide, the average pledge at UU congregations is $2,000. This year, we're asking you to meet the growth in our budget and to stretch your gift to help fund the position of assistant minister. For those who can, this will mean an average pledge increase of $50 a month. We know for some of you this will be difficult, but many will be able to give more. We deeply appreciate whatever you decide to give. Our last observation was about the campaign itself. We asked how we could make the campaign more personal and upbeat. This year, the public campaign will consist of a letter and pledge materials you'll be getting in the mail this week. And in addition to my comments, you'll be hearing from two of our committee members talking about why they give and how this congregation syncs with their values. We'll close out our campaign on Saturday, February 21st, with a special surprise that you will all be invited to participate in. More about that in coming weeks. We can make this campaign a success together. Please return the pledge card you received this week in the mail as soon as you can, or if you'd like, you can make your pledge on our website. If you'd prefer to bring your pledge in personally, we'll have a special box next Sunday for you to place your card. If you have any questions about the campaign, we'll have a table in the courtyard after the service next week and be happy to meet with you. Thank you for all you do to make this congregation the wonderful place we call home. Thank you for meeting the moment and funding our future.
Yay, John.
So, in the words of, let's see if I have it here. I gave it to Don. As a way to practice, to get you in the habit of giving. From Brandock Lovely, let there be an offering now to sustain and to strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us. A community of memory, a community of hope, for we are now the keepers of that dream. Please be as generous as you can for those online or here on your cell phones. There is a link in the YouTube video or a QR code in your order of service. Let this sacred time begin. now do a multi-part reading entitled We Come From a People. It was written by an old friend of mine, Reverend Joan Duval. It's just slightly adapted. We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of orthodoxy. William Ellery Channing.
A Unitarian minister declared reason and conscience as our guides.
John Murray.
A Universalist minister, survived a shipwreck and preached a gospel of love.
Eleanor Gordon.
A Unitarian minister, part of the Iowa Prophetic Sisterhood of Women, bringing progressive religion and values to small towns and villages throughout the Midwest.
We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of racial supremacy. Nathan Johnson.
A Universalist in New Bedford, Massachusetts, sheltered Frederick Douglass on the first night of freedom.
James Reeb.
A Unitarian minister from the North answered the call to march from Selma to Montgomery and was met with the violence of white supremacists. His death further catalyzed the passage of the Voting Rights Act.
Yesaya Barnwell.
A Unitarian Universalist who founded the Jubilee Singers, the first black-led Unitarian Universalist gospel choir, as well as Sweet Honey in the Rock.
We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of patriarchy. Olympia Brown.
A Universalist who fought to be admitted to seminary and became the first woman ordained by a denomination in the United States, and campaigned for women's suffrage until the 19th Amendment was finally ratified.
Frances Ellen Watkins Harper.
A Unitarian who spoke to the National Women's Rights Convention, insisting to the largely white-led suffragists that black women and men must not be ignored in the movement for equal treatment.
Sylvie Thigeson.
A Unitarian who helped to open one of the first birth control clinics in St. Paul, Minnesota, 50 years before birth control became legal.
We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of all that dehumanizes and separates us from our dignity and sacred worth. Dorothea Dix.
A Unitarian who visited the cells of the mentally ill, bringing to light their mistreatment and working to establish humane hospitals and just laws.
Martha and Waitstill Sharp.
Unitarians worked in secret to secure passage for those persecuted by the Nazis in Europe, saving hundreds of lives.
Zach Walls.
A Unitarian who was raised by two moms and spoke out against Iowa's attempt to ban same-sex marriage, advocated for gender equality in the Scouts of America, and is now running a progressive campaign for Senate.
We continue today as truth tellers in our time. We continue today as barrier breakers in the here and now. We continue today as peacemakers for this moment. And now together, we are bound for freedom, building on the foundations laid before us. And now, once more, your choir.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hallelujah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hallelujah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine all the time. Let it shine. Sing the children. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the time, all the time. Let it shine.
Thank you, choir. Thank you. Also, I want to thank Mary Lou and Ed, as well as Klaus as the disassociated voice in the back, for sharing the reading with me earlier. The theme at last year's Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly was Meet the Moment. The theme started with 3 questions. What is the moment we are in? Second, what are the most urgent needs and important opportunities in this moment? And lastly, how are our values calling us to respond to this moment? So this morning, I want us to walk through those 3 questions, not abstractly, but as Unitarian Universalists living in the here and now together. So what is the moment that we are in, or perhaps more realistically, what are the moments we are in? There is just so much going on. I feel it in my bones, both here at the congregation as well as in the world at large. And when I sit with this question, really sit with it, I keep coming back to one thing. At its heart, the moment we are in is a moment when the idea of shared responsibility to one another as human beings, to democracy, is to the whole world, honestly, is being tested. We live with a government that is certainly not aligned with my values, with constantly challenging the norms of our society. Now, I want to be clear, challenging norms in and of itself is not wrong. The moral question is always who benefits and who is harmed. Is it giving more rights to more people or trying to eliminate rights for certain groups? Is it creating violence and coercion or creating opportunities for flourishing? Unitarian Universalists have always challenged norms. It was once the norm in this country for people of African descent to be enslaved. And we challenged that norm and supported the abolition of slavery. It was once the norm in this country for women not to vote. And we supported the women's suffrage movement, challenging that norm. It was once a norm that same-sex couples could not marry. And we challenged that norm and supported marriage equality. We pushed outside those norms as a religion and impacted our country for the better, giving more rights to more people. Unitarian Universalism has always been about the flourishing of humanity, all of humanity, not just for us, but for everyone. And the work of our religion is not yet done. The need is just as great today as it has ever been. The moment we are in does carry real risks, especially to our democracy. And I am not speaking abstractly. I mean the normalization of targeting political enemies, intentional gerrymandering, laws being passed to allow states to nullify voters' rights. Now, there was a time in our country, up until 1913, where state parties and legislators picked senators. But Americans thought more people should have a say in their government. And until 1965, Voting Rights Act, Jim Crow laws limited African Americans' rights to vote. Unitarian Universalists were on the front line, and some died helping to secure voting rights for all people. Now, I was just at a Box of Diversity Institute event this past week, and I learned that in America, people of Chinese descent were not even allowed to become citizens until 1943 because they were our allies in World War II. But prior to that, they were excluded. And they were excluded from even emigrating here until 1965 with the immigration reform. Unitarians, among other progressive religions, we did this all by ourselves. I think that's an important point. We're lobbying and rallying again for inclusion. Unitarian Universalism has been on the forefront of democracy for all people. That is explicitly stated in our principles and our value statements. And there is more work to be done. We are in a moment where we have abandoned our political allies as a country. Unitarian Universalism is a covenanted religion and people. We believe people, organizations, countries should live up to their word. And our country has been leaders in the world, putting forth and working towards a better world for all people. Sometimes for the better, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But the point is not perfection, but responsibility. Keeping our word, honoring our commitments. Yet now we as a country seem to have abandoned our ideals of partnership to leave everyone else to fend for themselves. History is not just something that we inherit. It is something we choose again and again and again by how we show up and how we act and how we build community. So if we are a microcosm of the world, we must realize that we cannot abandon our commitments. In fact, to live out our values, we have to expand our commitments to each other. We as individuals need to come together to find meaning, to create community so we can flourish as human beings. We as a congregation, we come together with other congregations and Unitarian Universalism and others who share our values, even if not our theology, and we make meaning. And we create meaning in a larger community, and we flourish as a religion, as a city, and as a country. We have seen how we have impacted this country in the past, and we can do so again as we move forward as a religion. It's why it is so important that we continue to create and grow a vibrant community based on our values. You know, there are many people out there. I meet them all the time who believe as we do. And they have no idea that we exist or what we believe. So we need to let them know that they are not alone. And the question we must ask ourselves, and it is a fearful time. There is risk. We cannot deny that. But the question is, will we turn inward in fear, or will we turn outward with flourishing and move forward despite whatever fears that we may have? Our country is moving towards, and honestly on the verge of creating a multi-ethnic, multi-racial, multi-gender society based on our value of equity. We are already there. I lived in Orlando, was already 50% non-white, the county that Orlando is in. And this is what scares some people, right? We too, as a congregation, are on a similar path. And some in our country want to turn back the clock. They cannot. They will not. There is no turning back. There is no turning back. Let me hear you say it. There is no turning back. One more time. There is no turning back. What are the most urgent needs is the next question, and important opportunities in this moment. Right now, our congregation has many needs, as well as our larger community. We have continued building the infrastructure of our community. I know John mentioned some, I do not have the time to list all the people and the programs, but I will say our programs and small groups nurture meaning. Our justice ministry widens compassion and creates change for good in our community. Our social groups create bonds amongst ourselves, and our care teams, in the multiple ways that they sustain one another, this campus and this organization. Nothing happens in a vacuum. There are people, volunteers, staff, who make it happen, to create this environment in which we come together and create community. Our growth is real, and our current staffing levels, the growth that we have, that growth is not sustainable. Our growing as a congregation provides more opportunities for us to grow individually. Our presence here in Sarasota is a beacon to show that another, better way is possible. Now, the board has determined, they had a subcommittee and everything, that a task force, that our most urgent need is to hire a second minister. Now, you as a congregation will determine whether you agree with that based on how you pledge. Hiring a second minister is not about prestige or numbers, but rather it is about care, sustainability, and faithfulness to our mission and our vision. How are our values calling us to respond in this moment? Well, here's what I know. Our values mean nothing if we don't build the structures to live them out. And that brings me to us, to this congregation, right here, right now. Of the 1,000 or so Unitarian Universalist congregations, we are the 35th largest in membership in the United States and the largest in Florida. You can give yourselves a round of applause for that. That is a testament to those who came before us and all who are here today. We're one of only 2 congregations our size that I am aware of, at least, that only has 1 minister. And there is a reason for that. As a congregation, although we are 35th in membership, we are 77th in pledging income. And we are also 108th in the size of our endowment. So I am asking you here very specifically to consider increasing your pledge significantly. Every single board member who has pledged has increased their pledge, ranging from 0 to up to 110%, for a combined increase of 33%. That is how much they believe and are committed to the mission and vision of this congregation and Unitarian Universalism. Now, I want to be very clear, of course, as John said, everybody is in different stages of their life and have different abilities to give. I want to assure you I respect that 100%. But if you can, I ask you to give as much as you can. Give in a way that feels meaningful. That might even be a stretch for you. Now, I stand here before you today, and I hold my pledge card. And I have increased my pledge by 20% to reach that average number that John spoke of earlier. I'm doing this because I believe in us. I believe in Unitarian Universalism. I believe in what we are building here. We heard the names of those historical Unitarian and Universalists. They did not do what they did alone. They did it with the support of this vibrant, transforming, supportive religion. We are not perfect. We do not claim to be. Still, we create a vision of a better world, a religion that highlights inclusion, freedom, reason, and compassion. We are called to transform ourselves and the world. Now is the time, not some later time. Now is the time. There is no hiding from what is happening in this country. But there is a way forward, stronger, together. Our values call us to act. Our values call us to courage. Our values call us to freedom. Our values call us to hope. May you feel so called. This is our moment. Let us meet it together. May it be so. Please rise and by the and/or Spirit, thank you. Please rise and by the and/or Spirit for our closing hymn. Now let us sing. And the last verse, we've changed the word. And when you get to it, please look at it up online. It'll be fun. We're changing it to, instead of joy, we're going to say, sing to the power of the pledge within.
Power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the hope within. Sing to the power of the hope within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the hope within. The power of the love within. Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the pledge within. Sing to the power of the pledge within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the pledge.
So our closing words are from excerpt from John F. Kennedy's speech, A City on a Hill. For those to whom much is given, much is required. And when at some future date our success or failure will be measured by the answers to 4 questions. First, were we truly people of courage, with the courage to stand up to one's enemies and the courage to resist public pressure as well as private greed? Secondly, were we truly people of judgment, with perceptive judgment of the future as well as the past, of our own mistakes, as well as the mistakes of others, with enough wisdom to know that we did not know, and enough candor to admit it? Third, were we truly people of integrity, people who never ran out on either the principles in which they believed or the people who believed in them? Finally, were we truly people of dedication? So let us, as John Kennedy suggests, be people of courage, judgment, integrity, and dedication. Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you all for your presence here today. Please enjoy the potluck. Go out, be generous in all that you do. Thank you.